Hi. So we're continuing to chapter 24, and we will call it The Marriage of Rebekah and Isaac. And Abraham is old, advanced in his days, and God blessed him with everything. And he says to his eldest servant, okay, who rules over everything, and he makes him take an oath, he makes him swear. He says, "Put your hand under my thigh," and that probably meant the circumcision, just as we put our hand on the Bible, "and I will make you swear in the name of God that you will not take a wife for my son from amongst the Canaanite women amongst whom we live." Why? Probably the assumption is that if the girl comes from Abraham's home in Haran or Aram Naharaim, then she's not going to keep going back to her family and her old ways. And if she converts to become part of Abraham's household, if she's living amongst the Canaanites, she could go home, meet her parents, weekends, holidays, and will continue going back to their non-Jewish roots. So, and it was the custom during those years that people got married or found spouses amongst their family and amongst their own country or city folks. So he sends his servant and he says, "You have to swear not to bring my son there. You will go to the girls in my own land, my own birthplace, my own family." And the servant says, "And what if she doesn't want to come?" So if it happens that the woman does not willing to come, then Abraham says, in that case, you are free from my oath. So you're liberated. You're free from my oath. But no matter what, my son is not supposed to go there. Beware that you not take my son back there. And then the Lord God, who has taken me from my birthplace, and who promised me that I will give this land to your children, will send his angel before you, and you will find a wife for my son. And if she doesn't want to come, you are free from this oath. And the servant swears on what Abraham asked him, and the servant takes 10 camels from his masters, and he takes probably a lot of gifts and a lot of goodies to be able to give to the family. And he goes to the city of Nahor. Who is Nahor? Nahor is Abraham's brother, and he lives in the city Aram Naharaim. Aram Naharaim, the city of Nahor. So we know that some of the places have different names. For example, Beit El is called Luz. Hebron has another name. Aram Naharaim is known as the city of Nahor. And when he gets there, he makes his camels kneel near the well. And towards evening, when the girls will come to draw water, and now the servant gets nervous. How am I going to know? So he turns to God and he says, "The girl who I will say to, 'Can I have some water? Give me your pitcher.' Then she will say, 'You could drink, and I'll also draw water for your camels.' And that will be the proof that you have done kindness, asita chesed, that will know the kindness, that she is the girl." What's the business with the kindness? So we're reminded, like Abraham welcomed his guests and ran towards them, so Rebecca also wants to do kindness, and that means that she seems to be a fitting wife for Abraham's family. And lo and behold, he hardly finished talking, and Rebecca is coming out, and she is the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, wife of Nahor, Abraham's brother, with her pitcher. Okay, so it's all the family tree that I have shown you in class. And the girl is described as being very beautiful. Who else was described as being very beautiful? Sarah, if you remember, Abraham says on his way to Egypt, I now know that you're beautiful and maybe the Egyptians will kill me. So she's going down, Rebecca is going down to Ain, the spring, and she fills her pitcher with water, and the servant is running towards her and asks her the $1 million question. Can I have some water? And she says, by all means, I'll be happy to feed you. She takes her pitcher off and she finishes making him drink. So she says, I'll also draw water for your camels. And she puts the water into the shoket, in Hebrew, in English, a trough. I drew a diagram for you. This is a dugout of a log so that the animals can drink without falling into the well. And the servant is looking at her, and he is holding his peace to know if she is the one that God has chosen. And when the servant and the camels are all finished, then drinking, then he takes jewelry, a ring, and bracelets of 10 weights, asara zahav mishkalam, and he gives it to her. Please note that first he gives her the jewelry, and then he asked, whose daughter are you? So he gave jewelry to a stranger. Why? Because he believed that God confirmed his finding the girl, that she's the right girl. And she says, I'm the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah and Nahor. So Milcah and Nahor are the parents. Rebecca is the daughter. Vatomer elav gam teven gam mispo. I have also straw, and I have everything you need for your animals and for yourself. And he bows down to God because he realizes mission accomplished. And he said, Blessed be the Lord, the God of my master Abraham, who has not forsaken his mercy. In other words, he was merciful, he was kind, God was, and he led me in the right way to the house of my family. So we will continue after my phone call, for which I apologize. So the servant blesses God, and the girl runs home. Where did we have the expression running before? Again, she fits into the family of Avraham. Avraham runs towards his angels. He runs to perform the Akedah. So she runs home and tells the family everything that happens. And what does she say? Well, she has a brother whose name is Lavan. In English, Laban. Okay, and according to some of the commentaries, when Laban saw all her jewelry and everything, he ran towards the guy at the well. And when he saw the ring and the bracelet that his sister, so he said, this is what the man said to me. Okay, and he Ko amar elai haish, vayavo el haish, and Laban runs out. And Laban, of course, sees all the goodies that his sister has. Oh, please come home. Bo Baruch Adonai, come, you blessed one of God. Why are you waiting outside? Come into our house and bring in your camels and open up their equipment so they could get a rest. And he opens and he feeds the thing, and he washes and he gives food to everybody. And they put a meal in front of him, and they put food before him. And he said, whoa, just a minute. I cannot eat. I'm here on a mission, and I cannot eat until I tell you what I have to say. And you know, I have this master, I'm a servant to Abraham, and God blessed him with everything, and he has lots of wealth and gold and silver and servants and donkeys. And he told me not to marry a local girl, but to go back to my family's homeland. And he said, God will help you. Again, the Lord before whom I walk will send his angel to help you. And if the girl refuses, then you're free from my oath, from my promise. And I came, and God made it happen. And the girl came out just like I asked, that the girl that draws water will be the sign. So the servant is setting this up to the family so that the family can say, wow, God made this happen. We can't refuse because it's all God's work. And he notices that the girl hurries to lower the pitcher of water. And I asked who she was, who her family was. That's not quite accurate because he didn't first ask and then give the gifts. In the original story, he first gave the gifts and then asked who she was. And then he bows down to God, and now let me go either right or left, but give me an answer. Right and left, where did that word come up before? So I hope you remember that that came up with the story of Lot. He said, if you go to the right, I'll go to the left. If you go to the left, I'll go to the right. But basically, the servant says, if you refuse sending the girl with me, I will leave, and I know what I have to do. And then the brother Laban, the son of Bethuel, says, well, how could we say no to you? It's all from God. We can't tell you anything good or bad. God said it. The Lord has spoken. And he bows and he takes out gifts now, and he gives the whole family gifts, not only to the girl. And he gives them gold and silver, and he gives gifts again to Rebecca and to her brother, and everybody eats. And then her brother and her mother all of a sudden speak up and says, gee, hey, there's no 747, we're never going to see her again. Maybe she could stay a few days before she leaves us. And they decide, let's call the girl and let's ask her what her opinion is. Does she want to go or not? And they call Rebecca and they ask her, do you want to go with this man? And she says yes. And they send her and her maid, her nursemaid. So everybody that was born, they had a woman that looked after it from the days of the nursing, and they stay with them forever. And they blessed Rebecca, and they told her a very important line. Our sister, be a mother of thousands, of tens of thousands, and let your seed possess the gate of those that hate them. Achoteinu at ha'ila alfei revava, boys and girls, this is a blessing that we give every bride and groom every bride before she gets married. And Rebecca gets up, she goes on the camel, and they come to Isaac, who is coming from Be'er Lahai Roi. I don't know if you remember that place. Be'er Lahai Roi is the place that Hagar gave the name to when the angel appeared to her in the desert of Shur. And Isaac lived in the Negev. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field in the evening, and he raises his hands and he sees camels. And Rebecca sees Isaac, and she falls off the camel, I guess excitement, and she says, who is this guy who's coming towards us? And the servant says, well, that's the master whom you're going to marry. So she wraps herself in a scarf. She covers herself. Hence, women cover their faces. And Isaac brings her to Sarah's tent, and he's finally comfortable after his mother's death. We're going to stop here because the time is stopping.